Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into GenaImpact staking. It's a brand new feature that's all about putting your GNIM tokens to work. We're going to break down exactly how it works and, more importantly, what it can do for you.
All right, first things first, and this is super important. Right now, as we're talking, GenaImpact staking is still being built. That means that all the features, all the rates, everything we're about to go over, well, it's all subject to change. So just think of this as a special sneak peek at the game plan. So let me ask you a question, especially if you're holding GenaIM. What are your tokens actually doing right now? If the honest answer is, not much, just sitting in my wallet, then this new staking feature is something you're definitely going to want to hear about.
That leads us right into our first big topic. Because before we get into the how, we really need to understand the why. What's the whole point of this new staking feature anyway?
Okay, so here's the core of it. On one hand, GenaImpact staking is a way for you to grow your bag of GNIM. But it's actually doing something much bigger. When you stake, you're also helping to create a healthy liquidity pool for the whole GenaImpact ecosystem. And that's absolutely vital for the project's future. It's a total win-win. So, let's say you're on board with the why. Now, let's get into the how. When you go to stake your GNIM, the first choice you'll have to make is all about time. The system's being designed with two main options, and they're built for different kinds of strategies. Your choice boils down to this: a 3-month lock-in or a 6-month lock-in. The 3-month option is a fantastic way to dip your toes in, especially if this is your first time staking. The 6-month option, well, that's for folks who are ready to commit a little longer to really maximize those rewards. So let's take a closer look at that first option. If you go with the 3-month lock-in, the rate you're looking at is a solid 3%. That's your reward for helping support the network for that shorter period. And the process itself is designed to be super simple. Once those 3 months are done, you just unstake. You get back everything you put in, plus that extra 3% you earned along the way. Clean, easy, no fuss. But what if you want to kick things up a notch? For anyone willing to lock in their holdings for that longer 6-month period, there is a bigger reward. We're talking about a proposed rate of 4.5%. And get this, here's a really cool option. After your first 3 months are up, you can actually choose to roll over into a 6-month term. By doing that, you unlock that higher 4.5% rate, which can really start to ramp up your earnings. When you see the numbers side by side like this, the difference really pops. That jump from 3% to 4.5% is a pretty big deal. In the end, which one you pick really just comes down to your personal strategy and how you feel about the long term. Okay, so you've picked your term, your GNIM is staked. Now what? What happens next? This next part is all about watching your earnings grow and, crucially, how you can keep track of them. The whole journey can really be broken down into 3 super simple steps. First, you stake your gem. Second, you track its growth. And third, when the time's up, you unstake and collect your original tokens plus all the interest you earn. Now, here's how the tracker works, and this is a key detail. Your final interest amount is officially calculated the second you unstake. But you're not just flying blind until then. The plan is to have a tracker that shows you in real time how much GNIM you've earned so far. It'll even give you a projection of what your total will be at the end. That transparency is everything. All right, before we wrap up, we absolutely have to talk about one last thing. Anytime you're dealing with digital assets and earning rewards, it is so important to talk about risk. And this right here is probably the most critical piece of information to remember. While staking gives you a set interest rate in GNM, nobody, and I mean nobody, can guarantee the future market value of that GNM. The price can go up, it can go down. That's just how markets work. And that leads right to the golden rule of this entire space. Always do your own research. This explainer is here to show you the mechanics of how this thing is supposed to work, but the decision to jump in, that has to be 100% yours based on your own homework and what you're comfortable with. So we've walked through the what, the why, and how of GenaImpact staking. From the different rates to how you'll track your growth, it all comes down to a single question, really. Now that you know how it all works, are you ready to make your GNIM work for you?